Have you ever felt completely drained, just totally wiped out by being around other people's stress? If you're nodding along right now, then this is for you. We're going to talk about a really powerful mental shift that can literally act as a shield for your heart, protecting your energy without making you close yourself off. So let me just ask you straight up. Does this idea of being an emotional sponge hit home? Do you feel like you just absorb the feelings of everyone in the room, whether they're good or bad? If that sounds like you, well, you're definitely in the right place. And this is the main symptom, right? It's not just in your head. You can walk into a room feeling totally fine, but if someone in there is anxious or upset, you physically start to feel it in your own body. It just seeps in. And by the time you leave, you're carrying this heavy weight that was never even yours to begin with. It is just exhausting. So what is actually going on here? Well, the answer is in this really crucial difference between two words we tend to throw around like they're the same thing: empathy and compassion. And trust me, this isn't just about word choice. As we're about to see, your brain handles these two things in completely, and I mean completely, different ways. Here's the difference in a nutshell. It's so simple, but it's profound. Empathy is feeling with someone. You're basically mirroring their emotions. You're taking them on as if they're your own. Compassion, on the other hand, is about caring for someone. You see their feeling, you acknowledge it, but you keep a little bit of distance. You don't have to absorb it. And that tiny difference, that is the key to absolutely everything. All right, let's geek out for a minute and get into the science of it, because this is where it gets really fascinating. This is where we see exactly why one of these feelings leaves you drained, and the other can actually, believe it or not, energize you. It all comes down to what's lighting up inside your brain. So that feeling with experience, the whole emotional sponge thing, it has a scientific name. It's called affective empathy. It's the direct, unfiltered sharing of someone else's emotional state. And here it is, the big reveal from the science. When you're in that state of empathy, your brain activates the exact same parts that fire up when you feel your own pain. Your brain literally can't tell the difference between their pain and your pain. So is it any wonder it leads to total burnout and exhaustion? It makes so much sense. Okay, so now let's flip the coin and look at compassion. Notice the key difference here. Compassion isn't just concern. It's coupled with a desire to help. That little addition makes it an active state, not just a passive one. You're not just soaking in the bad vibes, you're motivated to do something to make it better. And this is the neurological game changer. Compassion lights up totally different areas of your brain, the parts linked to reward, to love, to connection. So instead of draining you, it actually creates positive feelings. It builds you up. You can think of it like this. Empathy is a leaky battery, but compassion is a renewable energy source. Okay, so the science is cool, right? But what do we do with it? How do you actually go from that draining empathy to energizing compassion in the moment? Well, this is where we get into a super simple, practical tool I call the compassion shift. This is it. This is the core of the whole technique. It's a little internal mantra you can say to yourself when you feel that wave of someone else's energy about to wash over you. I see your pain, but it is not mine. Just let that sink in for a second. What this one little sentence does is create a really subtle but incredibly powerful psychological boundary. It's not a wall. You're not shutting them out. You're not saying you don't care. You're just drawing a line in the sand between what is yours to feel and carry and what is theirs. It protects you without making you cold. So here's how it works in a simple 3-step process. First, you acknowledge their pain. That's the I see your pain part. Second, you create that boundary, but it is not mine. And third, from that protected space, you can act from a place of strength. Now you can listen, you can support, but you're doing it from a place of balance, not from a place of being overwhelmed right alongside them. And when you start practicing this, it leads to this really amazing transformation in how you see your role when you're helping people. You basically shift from being the sponge to becoming the lifeguard. I mean, think about it. If you're that emotional sponge and you're just using raw empathy with no boundary, it's like you see someone drowning and you just jump in the water right next to them. Well, now there are 2 people drowning. You're not really helping anyone at that point. But compassion? Compassion is being the lifeguard. You stay on the shore where you are strong, where you are stable, and you throw them a rope. You are actually way more helpful precisely because you didn't let yourself start drowning too. So let's just boil this down to the big takeaways. Number one, you can care deeply, so deeply, without having to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Number two, real effective help always comes from a place of strength, not from shared suffering. And finally, and this is so important, protecting your own energy isn't selfish. It's what allows you to keep showing up and caring for others over the long haul.
And that brings us to the final question for you to take with you. As you go about your week, just think about the different situations and relationships in your life. Where are you being the sponge? And what's one small way you can start to make that powerful shift and become the lifeguard instead?